What up, everybody? It's your boy, King Jacquel Martin, back with another episode of Whispering to Y'all Soul. And you know how I do. I got all the hidden gems in L.A. I'm here with my brother, Mr. Furious Styles. He rap. You know what I mean? Not only do he rap, he produce, he direct. He got a lot of things going on in his life. And I'm going to let him talk to him all about himself real quick. What up, my boy?
Yo, what up?
Yes, sir, Ski. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good to
sir.
have you on the show, type vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sir.
So, Furious, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother, what you do.
I'm a musician, you know what I'm saying? I like to call myself more of a raptivist than a rapper because I feel like I add like the activist to it.
Okay.
With the poetry, with the rap.
Love that.
So it's like, you know, kind of like some Pac type, you know. You know, it's like that more revolutionary, you know, putting the truth in there, the social commentary.
Okay.
So I do that, produce, I write, you know what I mean? Pretty much I'm a one-man band, you know what I'm saying?
Talk your
You know
talk,
what I'm saying?
King. Talk your talk.
I just got, you know, that's what you have to do when you coming up as an artist, you know, because a lot of people don't believe in you, so you have to kind of like, you know, build it and they will come. It's the field of dreams, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to show first. But yeah, I'm just a musician, man, all around the board. I'm a busybody. I like to be involved in every part of music, especially my project.
Okay.
You know, whether it's the beats, whether it's the song, and I'm a perfectionist. So.
Love that. So let's get to the origin of things, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get to the real good stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how did, one, you come up with the name Furious Styles?
For a couple reasons.
Okay.
One, because it goes back to the movie Boys in the Hood.
Shout out to everybody that was in Boys in the Hood
Yeah,
cast.
absolutely. And I felt like Lawrence Fishburne, he played a hell of a job in that character. But I felt like that character was really like overshadowed by, you know, the other stuff, you know, the dope boys, well, you know, the entertainment. But I felt like that was the perfect example of what a black man should be. Because he had his own business.
Yeah.
He took care of his son. He was a man's man. He was intelligent, you know, and he wasn't like no coon. He was still black, you know what I mean? And he still loved his people. And, you know, he was the first ones telling them about gentrification back then. You know what I mean? Like, so I just felt like that's what a black man should be, like Furious Styles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? A real man. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And I like in the beginning when the coon black dude said, you know, too bad you didn't get him. When we learned last nigga, and he was like, something wrong? And he was like, yeah, it's something wrong, but it's too bad you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was deep, that type of commentary, you know what I mean? And also I picked Furious Styles because I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee said something that always stood out to me. He said, never limit yourself to one style. And I always thought that was very powerful. So that's why I went by styles. And all my styles are furious. Like, I do everything with that fire, with that ferocious. So if I'm rapping, it's furiously, like it's fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's coming with that passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what everything, it could be writing, dressing, you know, just adding that furious fire to whatever you do.
Love that.
You know what I mean?
Love that. Okay, cool. So, first of all, shout out to Lawrence Fishburne. Got to work with that young man.
definitely.
Amazing talent, an amazing person, and I think that's why he's an amazing actor, because he's an amazing person.
Right.
Shout out to Morris Chestnut, the inspiration of why I even wanted to become an actor in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? From Boys in the Hood. Ricky! You know, MC, you know what I mean? Shout out to Cube, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do plan on working with all y'all in the future. You heard it here, exclusive on Whispering to Your Soul first.
Yeah.
But this is about you. So let's get to the origin story of how did you even fall in love with rap, brother?
Man, it's funny. The first tape that I had was a Third Base, a group called Third Base.
I remember Third Base.
And it was my uncle's tape, and that was the first hip hop tape that I ever had listened to.
Okay.
And then he took me to Children's Hospital, and the Fat Boys was performing. And he took me there, and I watched them perform, and they did All You Can Eat and Disorderlies and all that. You know what I'm saying?
For y'all little babies, y'all know nothing about that.
Right. Buffy was there.
Yeah,
with you know what I mean? Yeah, man, he was killing it too. Y'all
know nothing about that. Y'all thought I was slapping my face. That's what.
Man.
That's bebopping. Y'all know nothing about that. You know what I mean? You gotta educate them. You know what I mean?
For real. The young
we made our own beats.
Exactly. Before Timberland and Auto-Tunes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so that was like, you know, my introduction. And what really made me fall in love with hip hop was Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Troy.
Okay.
You know, Reminisce Over You. I remember that was the first cassette tape that I actually went to the record store to buy. Because I think that song made me like really fall in love with hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like when did you start experimenting? When did you feel like, yo, I'm kind of taking a liking to this, and I'm kind of nice? How did that come about? How did that come about? You know what I mean?
In a weird way, because I never really knew I could rap, but I always loved rap at first. You know what I mean? I just knew I loved rap music.
Yeah.
And I knew everybody else's lyrics. And I
Okay.
could rap their stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never really thought, you know what I mean? But I would freestyle sometimes, you know, play around at school, whatever.
A little cipher, quick cipher.
Right. And then, but my friends around me, they formed a group called, they were called the Kill Clique.
Okay.
This is about the time when like the Hot Boys was like popping, everybody wanted to be in the clique.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wanted to rap, but, you know, I had like, you know, you had those haters in your group that you didn't know they're haters that's really trying to, they see your potential, but they trying to like throw shade. So like it was my man that I thought that, you know, we was cool. We came up in the sandbox, but he was the one like, man, you shouldn't rap, just act.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't think this for you.
Try to put you in a box type vibe.
Yeah. But it wasn't that I couldn't rap. It's just that I just needed like some pointers.
Yeah.
And then I moved in with
little mentorship in it. You know what I mean?
And then I moved in with my man, one of my best friends. His name's 757 Wayne P. He actually battle rap. He a good rapper too, but he really the one who really like showed me how to like perfect my craft. Cause he would tell me stuff like, don't use the same word twice, or you know what I mean, don't make it sound mundane, like, you know, think more complex, you know what I mean, things like that. And what also made me a good writer was because I was around hard critics. Sometimes hard critics can make you better because we were all in competition as friends, so we were all making music together, and we always kind of wanted to outdo the other.
That little competition. Yeah.
And we were really hard on each other too, you know what I mean? If you messed up one word, you know, or if you didn't do this right, like, you know, and some of it was hating, but some of it was constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And it made me, sometimes you need that Joe Jackson type of
you do.
discipline, you know what I mean? Because it makes you a perfectionist.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny because I was just got done talking to my son, right? And then I was telling my son, you can't let people trick you out your spot.
Man.
Dad, Mom, the teacher wrote her letter and she only talked about me. I said, because you're the one that got caught.
Yeah.
I say, sometimes people can see your potential. Sometimes people can see your greatness that they'll try to set you up to slow you down so that way you can't become what you want to become. Because right now you all frustrated, you mad. When's the last time you touched your will to become the F1 race car driver? When was the last time, you know what I'm saying? Don't let their distractions box you from where you want to go. So when you were saying that you was competing with the crew, and sometimes people hate purposely because they see the greatness in you, that you had to learn how to separate yourself so that way you could go ahead and start doing you. And it's funny that you just said that because I was just so frustrated about my son. Kingy, shout out to Kingy, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, bro, don't let people trick you out your spot.
Facts.
It's important.
Yeah.
Because once you start understanding who you are and whose you are and what's your purpose, you're gonna have haters.
Absolutely.
You gotta have haters. You know what I mean?
What he say? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Right. It's like, you ain't doing something right.
You ain't doing nothing.
You know what I mean?
You gotta have haters. You know what I mean? And they make you great, honestly. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even knew it was the haters that made me great because I'm like, what is it about me?
Yeah.
You know, I keep getting attacked. Everybody hating on me. I'm just trying to do me. I'm just, you know. So that's when I realized, like, oh, they see something, like, you know, they see a potential, or, you know what I mean? And it's really because, man, people don't have, like, that confidence and self-love. And that's why you have to have confidence in yourself and self-love. Because when you have that, you don't need to hate on nobody.
Right,
when you're on your path, when you're on your purpose, but you have to do something to gain your own respect.
Yeah.
And people don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have
to, like, impress yourself.
I was telling people, like, I tell my little guy, Kingy, you got to understand this. And this is a gym. This is the gym. I'm going to go close up and give y'all this gym. Hey, do you not know that your light can irritate somebody else's demons? I'm going to say that one more time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to repeat it, Fear. Sometimes you got to repeat it.
Yeah.
Your light
absolutely
can irritate somebody else's demons. And it's still your responsibility to shine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't let someone else dim who you are, where you're going, what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Trick you out your spot. Play on your energy. Be an energy vampire, a dream killer. Your light could irritate somebody's demons. And here's the beautiful thing about when someone is a hater. It could be the biggest blessing ever. Because if you learn how do old folks say, pick the bones out and only keep what serve you.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be a blessing because haters can actually help you point out what's in your blind spot.
Yeah.
the things that you don't see about, you know what, that is kind of true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they're so critical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the things that don't serve you, the stuff that you know is BS,
Right.
let it be that.
Yeah.
Because even BS is shit, and shit helps shit grow.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If you know how to use it right, you know what I'm saying? It's fertilizer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let that BS go or whatever else, and then take out the parts that you really can master your craft, because once you start learning how to turn your weaknesses into strengths, it takes you to a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
So here's my thing. How did you survive all the trolling? How did you survive, I'm better than you? How did you survive the competition and say, you know what, I really got this. I'm really nice, and it don't matter what nobody else says. What was that transformation? What did that look like for you?
It was a process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
not like you just wake up like, man.
Of course. Come on, talk to educate them, talk to them, because you got some young boys out there that don't know the process. They think it's just supposed to be, I click my heels 3 times, and it happens. Talk to them about the process.
The strongest warriors was once the biggest cowards. You know what I mean?
Close up. Give them the close up. One more time.
For real, it's true. Like, the strongest warriors was once the biggest cowards, because you have to be a follower to be a leader. You have to go. It's a process. And so, so I went through that process, and my whole 20s was about rebuilding my self-esteem, because it was getting crushed.
Talk to them.
You know what I mean? So I spent my whole 20s like fuck that. I didn't realize that I was the butt of the joke. And that's when I lost a lot of friends, when I no longer was making fun of myself, and I wanted to do, wanted the best for me. And that's when it was like, oh, he changed, he did.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm no longer, wanting to be used or be, like I say, the butt of the joke.
That's how they put you in that mental prison. Oh, you think you all of that now.
There you go.
Oh, I remember when you used to do this.
Right.
And I remember when you used to do. Well, thank God I don't look like what I used to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you start making boundaries and you start walking in your purpose, all of a sudden, hey, bro, what's up with you?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And people start treating you differently. People try to start playing mental games with you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
To try to put you back. Because, man, I can't let this nigga get ahead of me.
Absolutely. It's a America's competition, man. We've been given a fairy tale, and we haven't been prepared for the real world. You know what I mean? So it's a competition. America is all about capitalism. That's what capitalism is. You know what I mean? But we're told, get along and, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. But that's not how it is in the real world. And in the real world, that's why there is no loyalty in the streets, because the number one rule of life is self-preservation. So if you think that somebody is going to give up their freedom and life for you, I don't care if that's your brother, your best man, whatever, 9 times out of 10 they're not, because every animal and creature is intuitively known to look out for itself first. So that's what I realized. That's why people be hating and stuff, because they be like, man, I don't want you to get more money than me. I want you to get more bitches than me. I don't want you, it really be about the business for real. Because I didn't had dudes sabotage.
It be about the ladies.
It definitely do. Man.
I mean, let me correct the language, because I know the ladies is finna try to kill me.
Sorry about that.
It be about the ladies.
That's absolutely
you know what I'm saying?
But there are some bitches in the world with the women.
Yeah. But the ladies that are the ladies, though, the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's sister, somebody's mama.
Absolutely. Yes, right. Exactly.
He's trying to get me killed in the comments.
Oh,
You're just gonna let him come and whisper into your phone and call out. Nah, ladies, we love you.
No. We never generalize it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my question. Now that you're making music, now that you found your voice, you said you were inspired by Pac.
A lot of people.
Okay. So California, he said he was inspired by Pac, and when he started rapping or whatever else, people could hear Pac in his content.
Absolutely.
And he sounded like Pac, and it was like, bro, we could tell that Pac was your inspiration, but you need to find your voice.
Right.
Because Pac is Pac.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to find Furious Styles. So how did you start separating yourself from who inspired you, which was Pac, into finding your voice, which is Furious Styles?
Well, Pac, he was probably like the number one. When I went to go see Tupac Resurrection in like 2003, I actually cried in the theater, because that's when I saw the parallels between me and him, like how much stuff we had in common, how both our mothers were on crack, like stuff like that. So I was like, damn, we really have a lot. Then when I found out that Tupac was a tribe, not just a person, because Tupac himself is named after another Tupac. So, and we're tribal people. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, well maybe, we're part of like that tribe, you know what I mean? But Tupac wasn't the only person that inspired me when it came to lyricism, Jay, Nas, Jada, DMX, like I could go, you know what I mean? Yeah, I go for days.
Shout out to Jay, Nas, rest in peace, DMX.
Oh man, for real.
Yeah.
And I always say, to me, X was like the closest thing. X was X, but he was the closest thing to like Pac, like the far as like his
attitude,
you know
swag,
what I mean? His swag,
how he took over Woodstock.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
man,
Yeah.
You know, he was like, that's why X is X. You know what I mean? Like, Let Me Fly is like one of my favorite songs. Like, you know what I mean? It's so deep. But like he said, I sold my soul to the devil when the price was cheap. But yo, it's cold on this level because it's twice as deep. But you don't hear me. Ignorance is bliss, and so on. Sometimes it's better to be thought dumb. Should I go on? Like X had that, and then the way he would put the prayer in there. You know what I mean? And Pac was one of the first people. You know what I mean? But Pac, I feel like, inspired everybody. I love what Chuck D said. He said Pac died for hip-hop sins. And that's true. And it's very true. And that's why I feel like on his last album, he was crucifying himself on Machiavelli. But he did, because all the stuff that the rappers are doing today, going to jail, getting shot, Pac was the first to do it.
Yeah.
He was like, he's really prophetic. So I found my voice is, I can't rap like Pac, because I can't be, memory, mama, like that gotta be him. You know what I mean? That's him. You know what I'm saying? But I just take like the talking about, like, I like what Pac said, like, I reveal myself in my music. Like, I'm vulnerable. He was like, you see how other rappers, they paint this perfect picture of themselves?
Yeah.
He said, like, I reveal myself. And I learned to do that from him. Like, you know what I mean? Be vulnerable sometimes in your music. Sometimes talk about how you didn't get some girls sometimes. You didn't have the money. You didn't have nothing, because you can relate to more people. Everybody can relate to pain.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody can relate to Pac, because he was able to tap into that market.
I think he did a great job of just looking in the mirror and was a great storyteller.
Absolutely.
Even when he just had songs like Dear Mama.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? I think that was so powerful. I think that was amazing. To shout out just to how much we love our mothers. You know what I mean?
And the fact that he wrote that on the toilet was even more crazy. And then he said he called his mom and she listened to it and she started crying. He was like, I knew that was a hit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Pac
Because
was
look, hey women, ladies, we love y'all.
Love you.
We wouldn't even be here without y'all.
That's facts.
Thank you for being the portal to life. Thank you for the opportunities that you give us. You know what I mean? I know sometimes we take off our crown and we wear it wrong. We talk crazy to y'all, but the truth is we do deeply love you. And any mistake that we've ever had, apologize for it, straighten up our crown, let us be the men that we're supposed to be. We know we talk about being submissive and everything. Oh, you need to submit to me.
Right.
Well, the question is, who are we being submissive to?
That part.
We need to show you what submissive looks like, so that way you want to give it to us as a gift. Because being submissive isn't a demand, it's actually a gift that you give us, because we represent the navigation system on how we lead in our family and how we're supposed to take care of y'all, so y'all are willing to be submissive to us. So shout out to the ladies. We wanted to give y'all that love and respect type vibes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
So talking about your music,
Yeah.
what do you want the fans, because you talked about how Pac inspired people. How do Furious Styles want to inspire people? What do you want us to take away from your music?
Oh, man. Resiliency. I want you to take, like, as long, it's true, when I was in private schools, because I was in foster care. So I had to go to school way out, like in the suburbs. It was a private school when I was in elementary school. So they didn't have no school bus to come get us, so they would send a van. And the name of the van was called Faith Transportation.
Wow.
Right, because it was ran by a church.
Wow.
And looking back at it, I looked at it a couple years ago like, damn, that was really symbolic, because that's really all you need in life. You have to let faith be your transportation.
Bar!
Like, for real. Like,
Bar! No. We not,
yo.
hey. 10-yard penalty. Flag on the play. He just dropped the gem.
It's real tough.
No. We're going to let that breathe. I don't know if y'all really caught that. Can you say it one more time to the camera so they know what you're talking about, bro? Wait, let me give you the close-up.
I was saying that all you need in life, like when everybody turn on you, people don't believe in you, what gets you through life is you have to let faith be your transportation, which meaning that you have to always have faith that it's going to be all right. You good. You going to make it, because magic only works unless you believe it. So if you believe that you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you know what I mean? So I never believe what people tell me.
No!
Right.
15-yard penalty. Another gem. Say it again.
I said, man, magic only works unless you believe it. So when people were calling me broke niggas and all that, I knew that wasn't who I was in my heart. So I never believed that shit. And I watched how other brothers believed it, and it became a self-fulfilling prophecy for them. And
No! Bar! Say it again. It came a what? A self-fulfilling what?
A self-fulfilling prophecy, man, because they believe, like, I'm a broke ass, man, I ain't shit, man, I ain't. You know what I mean? So they start speaking these spells, and I start looking at that like, I ain't about to speak these spells. These people don't know my life. You don't know me to call me no broke. You don't know what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew, like, that's why, like I said, it's important to have faith in yourself. And I think that even in religion, because we are made in God's image, so You know, to have faith in God is to have faith in yourself. It's one and the same. You know what I mean? So,
listen. Faith is your transportation.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why all religions say you have to have faith.
If you don't believe in you, why would anybody else believe?
Come on.
If there's life and death in what we speak, forget what everybody else say to you.
That's right.
What do you say to yourself?
Come on.
That self-talk. Do you speak life or curses over your life? Do you call yourself stupid? Mm-hmm. Do you call yourself broke? Mm-hmm. How do you speak to yourself? Because when you speak to yourself and you say it over and over and over again, guess what you're doing? Mm-hmm. You are programming your mind to believe that that's the truth.
Subconsciously.
And if you're not programming yourself, then here's a real question. Who's programming you? You feel me? like that's some real stuff. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's a
like
bar.
If you're not programming yourself with positivity, love,
come on,
healing,
come on,
manifesting positive things over your life, then who's programming you? Because half the time why you upset might be because of how you speak to yourself.
Come on.
The reason why you stressed and got migraines, or you don't feel like doing this or that, or you feel like you're in the sunken place of your life, might be because of how you speak to yourself. And not if it's not how you speak to yourself, what you accept with someone else speaking to you.
Man, speak, bro.
That's like what do you allow others to speak into your life?
Come on.
What do you listen to? Mm-hmm. What do you watch on TV? Mm-hmm. It's funny, man. It's called hypnotic rhythm, and the more you say it, the more you chant it, the more it becomes real. That's like if you got a kid and you say, you stupid, you stupid, you stupid. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the child will believe that it's stupid, but it was brilliant the whole time.
That's right. That's right.
Have you let someone else program you? And if you have allowed someone to program you,
whoa.
Hey,
Fire.
What is the antivirus to the program?
Come on. Preach,
what is the antivirus to the program of someone calling you stupid, broke, ugly, fat, whatever negative trauma thing someone said to you? What is the antivirus? Well, guess what? Today, exclusive on Whispering to Your Soul, the antivirus is you falling back in love with you.
Self-love, man.
The antivirus is what you repeat to yourself.
That's right.
The antivirus is the affirmations. The same way someone spoke death over your life is the same way you can speak life over your life. Right. And what I'm here to tell you is one moment don't define your life, you do. Because if you got to take your next breath, that means you survived that moment and you're no longer in that moment.
Come on.
So when you start understanding that it's scientifically proven, no rainbow lasts forever. And after every storm, there's a rainbow. The question is, can you endure the storms of your life? Mm-hmm. Can you endure the storms of how somebody spoke to you? Mm-hmm. Can you endure all these things so you can walk into your purpose and your rainbow in your life so that way you can have life over your life and you're living life on purpose because you got a purpose?
Woo.
Straight like that.
Woo.
Straight like that. We finna cook. Fears that got me started. We finna cook. We finna have a little bit of fun up in here. Because guess what? The biggest freedom that you can have is when you free yourself.
Come on.
The biggest freedom that you can have is when you can go back and look in the mirror and forgive your 5, 10, 15-year-old self. I said it on a different show, but I'm going to say it again. When was the last time you did a SWOT report on you? See, in business, if a business is a reflection of a person, check me out, watch me cook. In the Bible, it says, well done, my good and faithful servant. A servant is a person that provides a service, right? A business is an entity that provides a service. So there's you, and then the business is the straw man you. You have a social security number. A business number has an EIN number. Well, if you got a business and you ain't got enough customers, then your business ain't doing nothing. And if you don't like your bank account, maybe you ain't served enough people.
Woo.
So in business, they do a SWOT report, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the reason why they do a SWOT report in businesses is so they can get a return on investment. They got to gauge it. They got to weigh it, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Well, if they do that in business to get a return on investment, an ROI, when was the last time you did a SWOT report on your own life? So that way you can get a return on investment on your life and in your dreams and while you're here. Because one day you ain't going to be here no more. One day this movie of life is going to end and you're going to see the credits. My question is when you watch your own movie and you look back of your own journey and you're on your own hero story, because somebody has to play the villain, somebody has to be the antagonist. Your character was defined by when you went through your challenges in your life. How did you show up when somebody wasn't your way, they hated on you, they talked about you, they talked bad about you, they said you wouldn't be this, they didn't believe in you, they didn't want to support you. How did you show up for you? So my question is, when will you become the hero of your own journey? So that way, when the credits do roll, you can be proud of the movie that you created. Because if our ancestors are watching, that means we are living a reality show while they're watching us.
Facts. That's
what type of show are you putting on?
Oh, man. Come on.
What type of show are you putting on?
Bro.
That's the real question. And if you don't like the show, then when will you start making different decisions? When will you start changing the channel of your own life? When will you take the author and start writing a new story? When will you become a new version of you? Because every day that you wake up is an opportunity to be a new version of you. The question is, will you? See, you know what's required, but the question is, will you do what's required? See, we all want to get in shape, but there's a requirement to get in shape. We all want a job, but there's a requirement to meet the job. We all got a purpose and dream, but it comes with requirements. Are you willing to do the requirements, or do you just want to bitch and complain? We all want to get to heaven, but there's requirements to get to heaven.
That's a fact.
Oh, you want the wife of your dreams. You want the man of your dreams. Well, there's a requirement to meet that. See, you have demands, but you don't even meet the demand. Would you marry yourself? Do you meet the requirements of yourself?
Oh, man.
I just want to know. We're just having a conversation. We're just having a little bit of fun.
Too much
And I'm only talking
fire.
like this because guess what? I failed. And that is the best teacher ever. So talk about my failures. I'm cool with it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm still failing right now. But I would rather fail and learn how to be great than just say, hey,
Come on.
didn't make it.
Come on. Come on.
Hey, I hate to go to the graveyard and add to the graveyard of all my excuses of why I didn't become who I could have been.
Right. Right.
My bad, bro.
You
I had to get that out the system. I had to get it out the system.
You was on fire.
Sometimes you just gotta, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta just
cook. When you in that mode, you know, man, it's all good. You know,
because it ain't about me. This is about you.
Yeah.
But it was
Bro,
just
that
something
was
that you
fire,
just
bro.
said when you
Everything
just
was
inspired.
cool.
You know what I'm saying? You just inspired me to go
Bars
crazy.
after
You
bars
feel me? You
after
just
bars
inspired me to
after
go crazy a
bars,
little
man.
bit. I had to
Oh,
whisper
God.
to your soul. You hit me
Man.
just a little bit. You feel me? I'm talking to you, but I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to your spirit. I'm not talking to you. Not your flesh, because your flesh can tell you anything,
Come on.
but your spirit will talk to you differently. When was the last time you talked to your spirit?
Go, bro. Go.
I cook a little bit.
Go,
I cook a
go,
little
go,
more.
go.
Okay,
You got the
so
flow.
Fierce, let's do it like this.
Yeah.
When was the last time you took a shower? Pause, because I know people gonna try to make that crazy. But follow me after you get past that BS program that we put in our mind about pauses.
Right.
That's because that's a program. Because
Absolutely.
before people never said pause.
No.
We just understood what we understood because grown folks is grown.
Right.
But for the young folks, it's cool. Pause. We'll have a pause moment. Back to the question.
Right.
When was the last time you took a shower, bro?
Right before I came over here.
So you take showers daily,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Why do you take a shower?
To clean off the dirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
cool.
And
So
the energy too.
Okay, cool. So you take showers so that way you can be clean because if
Yeah.
you didn't take showers, you'd be dirty, funky,
Yes,
stink,
that's right.
stressed. Don't you know that stress can kill you?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. If that's true, then that means you take showers every day so you go to bed clean. But when was the last time a person washed their mind and their spirit? So you go to bed clean physically, but you mentally and spiritually dirty. And then you wonder why you wake up tired. You wonder why you don't feel fulfilled.
Come on.
I'm just asking questions. It's just a question. When was the last time you pressed reset on your mind?
Man.
When was the last time you sat still in your spirit? I mean, since we cooking, we got a cell phone. You got a cell phone. I got a cell phone.
Right.
Guess what? We said we came from God because you told me that you came from God and God is a creator, which automatically means that you're a creator.
Absolutely.
So that means automatically, by default, if we're made in his image, I'm a creator because I came from a creator.
That's absolutely.
Okay, cool. So if I'm made in God's image, who created a cell phone?
The gods, the little gods.
People.
Us, yeah.
Okay, cool. I know I ain't the smartest nigga in the
Right.
world, but if we created a cell phone, that
Right.
means the cell phone's made in our
Image.
Okay, cool. Let's work some things out just a little bit. On a cell phone, if your cell phone dies, what happens?
You can't call nobody.
You can't call nobody because ain't no battery left, right?
Right.
It's dead. So
Right.
what do you have to do in order for your cell phone to work again?
Charge it.
You got to do what?
Recharge.
Okay, how do you charge a cell phone?
Plug it up.
You plug it into what?
Socket.
A socket, which also could be a power
Surge or outlet.
or a power source.
Source.
Okay, a power source. Okay, if that's true, so you just told me when my phone dies, I got to plug it back into a power source.
And we're energetic being. He cooking.
Huh?
Cooking.
Huh? So what happens
Ooh,
when you
he
get
cooking.
tired? A lot of us is out here living life on 25% battery and wonder why we can't live 100% of what we have. When was the last time you stood still and plugged back into your source? Whatever you want to call your source. I just happen to call him Yahshua. I just happen to call him God. I can't speak for you, but when was the last time you tapped back in your source?
Come on.
Okay, we still on the cell phone. We still gonna cook a little bit. Okay, on a cell phone has apps, pictures, storage, text messages, videos. If you have too many apps, pictures, text messages, what happens to your phone?
Start running slow.
It starts running slow. Okay, cool. Because if a cell phone's made in our image, what happens when we have too many apps open in our mind? What happens when we're carrying too many emotional baggages? But if I want new things on my phone, I gotta do what?
Delete some shit.
So you told me the phone is made in our image, and in order to do new things on the phone, I gotta delete things. Well, when was the last time you started deleting shit out your life that don't serve you? When was the last time you started removing friends that really ain't your friend? When was the last time you started removing people that really don't love you, that you gave your heart to? When was the last time you started setting your own boundaries so people can't talk to you and walk to you and treat you any type of way? When did you start setting a boundary with yourself and actually have some consistency and discipline in what you say you actually really want? Because you say you want new blessings, but you can't get new blessings if you're not willing to be a new creature. That's why biblically it says you got to renew your mind daily, but the question is, are you willing to do the work to renew your mind? Because it takes work. It's a process. Do you trust your process, or do you just complain? We're just talking. We're just having a little bit of fun. We're just doing a little thing. You know what I'm saying? I talked about this on another show, but because we cooking right now and it fits so good, we going to have a little more fun.
Come on.
You watch Transformers?
Yeah.
Okay, on Transformers, they got good guy, bad guy.
Yeah.
The good guy is the Autobot.
Autobot.
The bad guy is the
Decepticon.
Okay, Decepticon. Well, how did they come up with Decepticon?
They deceive you.
Exactly, because it's made of two words.
Right.
And the two words are
con,
deception.
and con.
Okay, so deception and con. That means someone has to deceive you or someone has to con you.
Yeah.
Okay, a Decepticon's job was to come to planet Earth and get all the energon.
Yeah.
Okay, because they wanted to power their own planet.
Yeah.
So they tried to steal the energy.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been in the setting Rome? Have you ever been in the setting, you know what I'm saying, Furious Styles, where everybody was just vibing, we all just having a good time, and then somebody come in the room with negative energy?
Yeah.
And then when they walk out the room, the energy is just different?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever had somebody deceive you?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had somebody con you?
Absolutely.
How did you feel when it happened?
Pissed off.
You was pissed off. You was no longer yourself. You was walking around this earth on autopilot because now you're in your feelings and you're no longer being yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you weren't doing what you was doing before you got deceived and before you got conned, before you got heartbroken, before somebody tricked you, before somebody talked about you. Okay, cool. The beautiful thing about that was that person was a Decepticon.
Absolutely.
And when that person came in your life, they stole your energy.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that person made you an Autobot.
Yeah.
You was an Autobot because you were walking around on autopilot in Earth, because there's a big difference between living and existing.
That's fact.
Okay, cool. Well, last session, we're going to let this go real quick. An Autobot can never defeat a Decepticon until it learns how to do what?
Shit, I forgot.
Because it's in car mode. Right. I've never seen an Autobot in car mode defeat a Decepticon in the middle of a battle.
It's regular form.
So in order for it to go into its regular form, it has to do what?
Transform.
It got to do what?
Transform.
That means you got to be willing to renew your mind daily and transform who you are, because the Decepticons are not going to stop coming.
That's right.
Are you prepared for the Decepticons of your life?
Come on.
Or are you just going to keep complaining about them? You can't get mad at a Decepticon for being a Decepticon. A Decepticon is just doing its job.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you act when the Decepticon in your life show up? Who will you be? How will you move? If I throw a rock at you right now and the rock hits you, it's my fault because you didn't know the rock was coming. But if I throw the rock again and you see the rock coming and you don't move, whose fault is it? Then how many times are we going to run into the same problems in our life and let the...
Keep hitting you in place too.
Until we start learning how to move differently. We be stuck in our own sunken place of our minds. But when you start getting mental freedom, mental clarity, you start falling back in love with you, you'll start moving differently. That's what Neo talked about in the Matrix when he started moving differently, when he started understanding that, nigga, you've been the one since the day you was born.
Absolutely.
The question is, do you know that you're the one? Because if you're not the one, tell me another you. Oh, you can't? That means you're the one.
Yeah.
By default.
Either you're the agent or the one.
Will you become the greatest version of you?
That's right.
My bad. I just
Man.
we just had to go crazy
Come on,
one time,
on,
let them know, you know what I mean?
You.
But just back to you. So my question is, how do you overcome the storms in your life? How do you transform your mind?
I don't do entertainment. I do edutainment. So I do if it doesn't, like, because I'm a person that like power, like, you know what I mean, and knowledge is power. So anything that's like about knowledge and power, and I like to read, and I remember I got that from Pac. Pac was like, I learned all this knowledge reading books, and that's why I like the rappers in like the 90s, because they talked about reading books and glorify authors like Donald Goines and, you know what I mean, Langston Hughes. Like, they would put that, you know what I mean, even Prodigy, when he started talking, he was the first person to talk about the Illuminati in hip-hop. Illuminati with my mind, soul, and my body, you know what I mean? But he got that reading the book, William Cooper, Behold the Pale Horse. So it's like, you know what I mean, because he put that in there. So I just feel like, man, I just keep educating my mind because I feel like that's where the power is. Like, and like Bruce Lee said, only because Bruce Lee's martial arts was Jeet Kune Do, and what he would do was he would take everything that worked from everywhere. So he took from ballerina, he took from boxing, but like you said before, because life is like eating crabs. You take what you can eat and throw the shit away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what Bruce Lee talked about. He was talking about like, so he learned from everything, you know what I'm saying? He learned from boxing, ballerina, kung fu, karate, because he was like, I'm just gonna take the stuff that works, wrestling, and that's what it is. You gotta throw the BS away, and then the stuff, the substance, the tangibles, stuff that that can better your life.
I love that. You know what I mean? You talked about educating. I know you're big in the community. I know you're an activist. What inspired you to become an activist, and what do you want to say to the community? And what's something that we could do better? If you wanted to inspire the community for us to get a better understanding, this is your moment right now. What would you tell the community about the good things about the community, and then what can we do better as a community?
I think what's wrong with us, I think integration was the worst thing that happened to us. I think because we integrated with soulless people, so now we don't have a soul. See, what African people and black people don't understand is what separates us from these other races is our soul. You know what I mean? It's because we don't put man's creations over God's creations, but that's what they do. They'll say we're broke ass niggas, we homeless because we don't got this piece of paper that's created by man or with some slave owners. But to me, that's evil, that's demonic, you know what I mean? Like, you never put material over something that's created by God. So what I would tell us is the community is what we need to start doing better is we need self-love, racial pride, and we need to educate ourselves on our real history. Our history did not start in no damn slavery. So you need to know that you come from kings and queens. You need to know about Timbuktu. You need to know about Mansa Musa. You know what I mean? Because that's where your self-esteem is at. But you're letting your enemies, just like Malcolm X said, only a fool will let his enemy educate his children, and that's why we're fools, because we are sending our kids to our enemy school to be indoctrinated. So that's why we went from hating the white man to hating the black man, because we've been turned inside out. So I think that black people, our problem as a community is self-hatred, because self-hatred is the greatest defense mechanism that the white guy uses to defend himself, because as long as we hate ourselves, when we get angry, we're just gonna take it out on ourselves instead of the people that put us in this situation. So that's why they want us to hate ourselves so much. You're ugly, you're black, you're a nigger, you're broke, because they
Bar
want
by Kanye, they made us love their wealth and hate ourselves.
There you go, man. That's one
bar.
of my favorite lines about Kanye, you know what I mean? But it's so true, because they made us hate us, and that goes again, putting man's creations over God's creations. So I think that what we need to do as a people, we need to get back to spirituality, nature. You know what I mean? We need to get back in tune with who we are, because African people, we come from nature. You know what I mean? Our color's the same color as the mud. Us and the sun make a marriage. You know what I mean? So we got to get back in tune with that and give them back their fairy tales and their Zeus, Jesus, whatever. And you know what I mean? And I think we be straight.
Like, I respect that, right? My take is a little different. My take is, what makes a rainbow beautiful? Is it not the diversity of colors? Well, if that's true, is mankind's kryptonite trying to make one color better than the next?
Absolutely.
And if one color becomes better than the next, is it still a rainbow?
No.
Exactly. So why are we destroying something that God created beautiful with invisible lines of hate? We're all 6 degrees of separation from loving each other, but we choose to be addicted to poison. You know what I mean? And I feel like you have some amazing people in every race.
Absolutely.
But you do have people that are in power that understand your power. I'm gonna say that one more time. You do have people in certain positions that understand the value. You don't believe me? Okay, go to a job. Anybody ever had a job before? When you got that job, they put a value on you for your work. But the point of it is the price that they're paying you really isn't the true value of the work you do for the company.
No.
See, I can't give you your total worth, because then I wouldn't recoup and make money off the back.
Slavery.
It's not, it's pimping. See, let me tell you something else.
There you go.
Let me drop this gem for
man,
you.
he talking. You get cooking again. In the kitchen again.
Business and a plantation, principles are the same thing.
Absolutely.
What do you mean, King?
Absolutely.
In a business, you have a worker, You have a worker B. You have a worker B. You have a manager. You have a CEO. Okay? On a plantation, you have a slave, slave driver,
Right.
master.
Facts.
The structure of it's the same.
Absolutely.
So I don't care what plantation you work for, whether it be McDonald's or Google. You're always on someone else's property as long as you're working on someone else's dream and you don't work on yours. Now, I'm not saying don't get a job. I'm not saying don't work for nobody, because if that goes with inside the dream of what you're building, do so. Because you have to do what you need to do until you can do what you can do. My only question is this. If you have the discipline for the 9 to 5, to wear the clothes, to follow the SOP, to go to lunch, to take a certain paycheck, to take sick days, and do all these responsibilities when they tell you to do it, because if you don't do it, they're going to write you up, or they're going to fire you, they're going to let you go. It's crazy. How can you have so much discipline for someone else's dream, but you don't have the same for your own?
Yeah.
You could tell how successful you want to be with what you do in your downtime. Yes, work the 9 to 5. Yes, do what you got to do. But in your downtime, are you putting at least 2 to 3 hours to your dream?
That's right.
That's all I'm asking.
Right.
Are you doing something for your visions, the ones that you have, your ideas? Have you ever seen something that you saw somebody else do and was like, man, I thought about that a long time ago? Well, how long are you going to be in the position of just being a thinker instead of the doer? Just a question. Yeah, there's plenty of podcasts that I can be on and that I still will be on. But instead of just being on everyone else's podcast, why not just have my own? It's crazy how we could die over someone else's clothing brand, over someone else's name, but you're not willing to die over your name.
Come on.
I remember a time back in the day, legacy meant something.
Absolutely.
Your last name actually meant
Absolutely.
something. So why is it that someone else's name means more than my name?
Come on.
When did they become more important than me? See, if you look around you, everything that you see, no matter where you are, someone else invented it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if we're always participating in everyone else's dream, who's participating in yours?
Come on.
And when did their dream become more important than your dream?
Come on.
Just food for thought. You know,
Man.
just a little.
Tell 'em.
You know what I mean?
Man, come on.
Something.
You in the kitchen, bro. Keep sauteing it, man.
So I got a question for you, right?
Yeah.
Furious. How do you overcome the storms in your life? I mean, some people like to work out, some people like to journal, some people like to put it in their music, put it in their lyrics.
Yeah.
What is it that you do, or how as a kid did you overcome some of the traumas that you've been through in order to become the person you are today?
It's crazy because I feel like because I had such a hard childhood, if had I not went through all the hardship that I went through as a child, I would have not been able to even make it today. Like I feel like it prepared me for everything that I'm going through today. So like, you know, my dad, he left me like first, and then my mom, she gave me to the hospital. Then I was abandoned by the time I was like 6. So, and then I was in foster care, and then, you know, then my aunt and uncle, they kind of like extorted me for 10 years. And then after the checks, they threw me out. And then, you know what I mean? So when I moved to LA and saw like, that's kind of like the culture out here. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like abandoning the brothers and you know what I mean? And know the feminine energy and all that. So I feel like the reason why I'm able to deal with it better than most, because I grew up with it. Like I'm used to the colorism and all of that, you know what I mean? So, and I think what makes me overcome it is that music is my escape. Music is like, I feel like blocks out everything, you know what I mean? Because it could put you in different moods. You know, I remember when I was on the streets, when I first moved to LA, and I was like, what they would call homeless, whatever, I would put on However Do You Want It by Soul to Soul. You know, however do you want it? I would put that all right. And it would just always put me in a good mood, like no matter what I was going through. Like it just would put me in that good mood. So I feel like music was always, like I'm always listening to music. Like, you know what I mean? Like Pac said, I'm a musical mercenary. You know what I mean? So music really helped me. And I think, you know, for you to really be strong and make it in this thing, you have to be able to be on your own. And a lot of people, like you were saying a few minutes ago, you know, a lot of people are scared to let people, you know, leave and go, and they're afraid to, you know what I'm saying, stop letting people disrespect them and stuff like that, because a lot of people are afraid to be by themselves. Because 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 when you
Yeah,
think on your own and
yeah.
you on your own, like that's a lonely life.
Cook,
because-
come on, man, cook.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you see a lot of people, it's easier to be a follower. Because, you know
come on,
what I mean?
man.
Yeah, it's easier because, you know, it's easy to do what everybody else is doing, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to be the black sheep or to go against to be the iRobot, basically. You know what I mean? Remember, you know, all the robots was programmed, but that one robot knew, like, nah, I ain't. He was conscious of his
how
own
do you march to your own beat and walk in your own purpose without just being inducted into the system?
Another clone Tyrone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what they've turned everybody into, like, clones now. Man. That's why there's no poetry, because and no diversity and no uniqueness, because when everybody has the same look, the same walk, then everything comes mundane. There's no poetry. Poetry is unpredictable. Poetry is, you know what I mean, uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have, you have to go through something. You know what I mean? Like he said in the movie Five Heartbeats, and when Duck or Robert Townsend got the award.
Come on now, this is my favorite line.
I love
this is my favorite line. You know it. Come on now, I already know. Yeah.
He said,
Duck will become a great writer when he suffers more. You ain't got to say it. I know it. Cause I watched the movie, right? And I was like, when he said that, I was like,
that shit. But I didn't get it as a kid.
I didn't. As an adult. But it stuck out to me, and I was like, why did he say that, bro?
I didn't get it as a kid.
And now that I'm grown,
older, you get
oh
it.
my God, that is a bar.
And he got it when he was older. Because remember, he said, I didn't get it back then.
Woo!
He said, now I understand.
Because now you got more to pull from.
And that's why that's what made me a great writer.
Listen, people wonder why we so talented and we so great. That is it right there. Because you have to be 10 times better. You get challenged in so many different ways. It forces you to, you know how y'all got MacGyver? And he had to figure out things, and he'd take bubble gum and put it on a wrapper and da-da-da-da-da, and he would create. When you're denied every which way you go for the color of your skin, it forces you to figure out different ways to get more creative, so that way you can win. And that's how we can go from being slaves to being #1 in education in college, starting our own business, creating our own table, as becoming everything that we're. Now, this ain't no disrespect to nobody else. But I can only speak from the experience of the skin that I live in, you feel me? Right. And how to overcome the storms that we've overcome, because our price has been paid for my freedom. Right. And I'm gonna get the results, because I'm not gonna live the person hanging who lost their life to give me the space and peace that I have. There would be no whispering to your soul if there wasn't no Tuskegee Airmen, Buffalo Soldiers, you know what I'm saying? A Fred Hampton, a Martin Luther King, a Rosa Parks, so many names before me, bro.
Dr. Amos Wilson, come on, so many.
Like, I was talking about my story. You know how many people done lost their lives to the police? I'm not the only one. You feel me? About to cook. About to have a moment. I feel it. I feel a moment. Imagine, like, they talked about, they did a test. And in this test, they had an aquarium, right? And in this aquarium, they put rats in it. They put the rats in the aquarium. And then they filled it up with water. And when they filled it up with water, they timed it. Because they wanted to see how long it was going to take for those rats to drown. And then they poured in the next batch. And they poured water in it. And they timed it until they drowned. And then they keep repeating the process. But what's crazy about it is every time they did it, the next batch of rats, they would survive longer. And longer, and longer, and longer. And you know why the rats were able to survive for so long? Because the price that was paid before them. And they stood on the backs of all the rats that came. But listen, I'm not saying that black people are rats, but what I'm saying is we're standing on the backs of everybody that paid the price before us.
Come on.
And when you understand the price that was paid, ain't no way that you can be lazy. Ain't no way that you can be tired. Ain't no way you can't wake up with gratefulness, thankfulness every single day that you get, because you ain't got to get it.
Man, come on.
Man, Pauline from Les Brown, she's a platinum speaker of Les Brown. She has no arms, no legs, and she says, I have more I cans than I cannot. What is your excuse? The woman has no arms. The woman has no legs. And she can still get up in front of a crowd full of people and say, I don't feel bad for me. My story ends great. My story is good. You might physically see me and think my situation's messed up, but it ain't. I'm full with joy. Joy. peace. I ain't saying life ain't hard. Of course it is. Look at my situation. But I wake up every single day with more I cans than I cannot. What's your excuse?
Exactly.
Boy, I got 2 arms, 2 legs. I got so much to be grateful for. I got another breath. I got another opportunity to live, to create, to go, to be everything that I want to be. Man, I can't keep making excuses.
Come on.
And the day that I stopped doing that, bro, is the day that my world shifted. Like you talked about music. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin said, bro, I challenge you to wake up to gospel every day. I challenge you to wake up doing affirmations. Shout out to Zachariah. Zachariah says, God, thank you for the unexpected favor and blessings that I can't even see. Wow. You know how many favors we get that we don't even say thank you for?
You should be thankful you can walk.
Man.
You should be I be thankful, giving thanks, man. Like when I see people in wheelchairs on cane, like just to be thankful to walk, to hear, to see. Like those things are the things, like, because when those things get taken away, that's when you really realize how important they are. So I think that what it is I think Bob Marley said it perfectly. He said the problem is things are being loved and people are being used, but it's supposed to be things are to be used and people supposed to be loved. And that's basically what's going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're loving things and we're using people, but it's supposed to be the other way around.
I'm gonna hit you with one that's really gonna fuck you up. Excuse my language, I apologize, because I ain't got to cuss to get my point across.
Right.
But I'm gonna hit you with something that's gonna really mess you up, bro. You're amazing.
Thanks,
Do you
brother.
know
Me
what
too,
you?
King.
No. This ain't about me. This about you right now. This about Furious Styles right now. This about you, bro. Do you know what you've overcome, family?
Yeah.
From your mother's situation, from your father's situation, from your family situation, from foster care. You know how many people can't walk a day in your shoes? Yeah. Even though you came from the mud, bro. Do you not know how hard it is to still be humble, to still have grace? I understand that you got some hard parts about your shell. That's expected when you come from what you come from. Yeah. But to still want to have community, to still want to have, bro, you got to have a different type of spirit. You got to have a different type of heart. And I think that empowers you to be furious.
My ancestors.
That empowers you to be furious from all the BS that you've been through.
That's right.
But you're still here.
That's right.
You're still going. And you copy so many styles from so many different people that will allow you to be furious and do it with style. And to have some flavor. And to say it didn't break me. Right. It didn't take my joy. Nope. It didn't steal my heart. It didn't steal my love. I'm still me. I can still be original. Guess what, mama? It's okay because I still love you.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what, Pops?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay because I still love you. Because I still got an opportunity. And even though that might not have looked like it used to look, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. Right. And I still get to make my own choices. I still get to make my own decisions. I still get to become what I become. Right. Just because I came from that don't mean that gets to become my prison or my tomb.
Right. That's right.
I don't care where you grow up. I don't care what hood you from. I don't care what you've been through. That ain't got to be your tomb. Every day that you wake up, you get to make a different decision to have something different in your life. The question is, will you choose to have different, or will you choose what is holding you back? And it's only holding you back because you choose to hold on to it. Bro, I honor you, King. I honor you, King. I honor you, King, because everything that you just shared and what you've been through, bro, it's amazing that you're still here.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
And you know what that means for me to you?
Yeah.
God ain't done with you yet.
Absolutely. And ain't done
You
with
still got work to do.
That's right.
You still got to. This ain't about me. This about you. This about you. You got work to do. And I can't wait till you go furious on the world and they see all the different styles that you leave your legacy with, so that way you can be passionate, you can change people's lives. You can love little kids that are in your situation that didn't know that they can get out of the situation. But you're living proof.
That's right.
You're living proof that you can get out of that. You're living proof that you can still make music. You're living proof that you can still become somebody. You're living proof that ain't got to be the tomb.
That's all.
You're living proof that your environment ain't got to become your graveyard. Like shout out to foster Children in the Spotlight. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Children in the Spotlight. Shout out to Antonio Charity and his beautiful wife. Children in the Spotlight is a whole bunch of it's foster kids that they take care of, right? And they put them into the film industry, and they are the directors. They do the camera. They do the writing. They do the whole production. And they put their movies out. Not only do that, in Children in the Spotlight, they also have their own award show. And different children get discovered all the time from children. It's a shout out to everybody from Children in the Spotlight. Love y'all. I'm just sharing it with my brother because he went through foster care and he might not have known that something like that exists. And you could take your talents and talk to the kids in that situation because you used to be in that situation. And you can go out there and motivate all them kids that might be struggling, that might not know that, hey, I can get out of this sunken place, that might not know that this mental prison I'm in, I can walk out anytime. Anytime. It ain't even a prison. It's only a prison because I told myself it was. I don't have to be the chained elephant. I don't have to listen to the naysayers that I can become something, that I am something already, that I am amazing, that I am great, that I am loved, that I am worthy, that I am powerful. You can make that impact. Right. And I can't wait for you to go furious and showcase all your different styles from all the different things that you've overcome in your life. And it goes right back to Duck will become a great writer when he suffers more. You suffered so much that your writing is so great that you can touch so many different people with all your different styles and you can release all your fury in a loving way. I love it, bro. I love that for you, bro.
Now you see why I love Pop.
Come on, man. Yeah, I wanted to play Pac when I was a kid. Right, you know what I mean? Shout out to Jeffrey A. Coffee paid Pac and the Death Row Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. This is how we cook. This is the flow. You know what I'm saying? So I know you rap. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So I'm gonna need you to give me a little freestyle. Give them a little Costco sample, a couple of bars. Let them know that Furious Styles really got styles. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yo, I said I started from the bottom, now I shake and bake like I'm Ricky Bobby. Everybody brainwashed, turn off the Illuminati. Gotta keep it shotty. See, around here I don't fuck with the hotties. But I already know I'm up the middle like Brian Urlacher. See, I'm still stacking these chips. Motherfuckers is hypocrites. They say that they hate us, but then they steal our outfits. But you know the flow's sick from a different script. See, it's all about that. It's the story never told. They reading the Bible. I read the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm out here with my man King. We whispering to your soul. And if you didn't know, we still putting tags on toes because we got the Leroy glow. You know what I'm talking about?
They gotta pay for the rest. They gotta pay for the rest. Yeah.
I'm just freestyling.
Yeah. Exclusive stuff. That's how we do. You didn't even know he was gonna rap today, but he went crazy one time for y'all. Yeah. So if people want to support you, support the wave, support the movement, how can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram. I am Furious, so that's IAMFURYUS. You can follow me. You can listen to my music on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. You just put in Furious Styles, which is FURYUS, Styles, STYLES. So on every platform, I got my new album coming out real soon.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, I'm putting it together right now. It's called Rage Against the Machine. So I got like.
It's called what?
Rage Against the Machine.
What that mean? Yeah, you ain't gonna throw that bar out there. What he's not gonna do, y'all, is try to throw a bar out like that. Like we wasn't gonna catch it. Talk to us about the title and how you came up with that title, Rage Against the Machine. Sound like you on some Matrix stuff. Hint.
Absolutely. Well, because furious, rage, you know what I mean, but using that to go righteously. So the rage is, like you said, the machine, because America's not a country, America's a corporation, so it's basically like a store, and it's basically like a machine, you know what I mean? That's why in 2020, you know what I mean, they told everybody go in the house and shut it down like a store. So I say the machines because we got to rage against these, you know, the laptops and all these things, and the TV and the programming, you know what I mean, that's messing us up, you know what I'm saying? So we got to like rage against that, you know what I mean? Go against it, speak against it, because, you know, that's how that's why everyone's in a simulation, because they're in a virtual reality. Like most people are like house niggas, they just in the house watching TV. They're not in reality. And so they think that they know what's going on in the reality, but the only person that's really in reality today is like, you know, the niggas, the Darcy niggas. Like that's who you see on the street. So that's why they know so much about what's going on in reality, because they're outside and everyone else is in a simulation, and they think that simulation is the truth. And you know, and that's why it's called Tell Live Vision. They're telling lies to your vision. It's a program. You shout out to Eddie Griffin. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. They're telling lies to your vision. And so the reason why, you know, they don't want to be outside, because they don't want that sunlight hitting your third eye, decalcifying your pineal gland. So they don't want you to see what's going on through the matrix. So, you know, remember Neo didn't know he was an agent when he was an agent. That's why most people don't know they're agents. Because, you know what I mean, he had to disconnect from the matrix to realize that he was an agent, you know what I mean?
I'm not stopping nothing. Cook!
Yeah, so that's what I realized. And Neo is Negro. because the Christ is the black one. You know what I mean? Neo is the Christ. And
the Matrix was written by a black woman.
Absolutely.
Let's let that be known. It was written by a black woman.
And she
You
wrote
dig?
Terminator 2.
Huh?
Yeah,
Talk about it. Yeah. She wrote all the Terminators.
Yeah,
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, absolutely. Neo was actually supposed to be for Will Smith because it's really a black man. It's Christ. And you know, when they use a white character, that's what we call whitewashing our history, or white. And that's why black people, we don't know who we are because they'll put a white face on our shit. You watch an Egyptian movie, and it's white dudes, Arab, but that's you. You know what I mean? Superman is you. Okay, no white guy get his powers from the sun. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what they're doing. They're basically putting their face on our stuff, so kind of like steal our power. But yeah. So you know, I always say that the difference between the black Superman, the white Superman, the white one's only super on camera. The black one's super in real life. You know what I mean? That's what I say.
No, say it again. 15-yard penalty. Dropping another gem.
I said that to me, the difference between the white Superman and the black Superman is that the white one is only super on camera. He needs green screens, a stunt double, DreamWorks. We super, you know what I mean? Michael Jordan's just super just being himself, you know what I mean? Pop, we super just being ourselves. We're the real Superman.
Now let me get some. Let's clear some things, right?
Yeah.
Let's clear some things. Because some people are trying to switch the narrative. Oh, y'all trying to be racist. Oh, he's trying to say no. See, you have some amazing white people out there.
Absolutely.
Right? You had some white people that were doing the amazing things. And guess what they got called? Nigger lover.
Absolutely.
They open up their homes. They hid black people. They help them get to freedom.
That's right.
So don't think that you don't have amazing white folks out there doing amazing things that really want to do the right thing, but sometimes they're attached to things that won't let them be a part of the right thing because then they'll get casted out. They'll be called trailer park trash and all these other different things. And the separation, it's just not color, it's classism. It's about money, finances. Are you part of the rich or the poor? Because they're trying to remove the middle class to have the have-nots versus to have the have versus the have-nots. Right. You got to understand classism. You got to understand gentrification. You got to understand finances. You got to understand how they look at you. You got to understand classification. You got to understand that when you're in a certain tax bracket, your records are in this room. But when you start making a different type of money, they take that record and they put you up under this room, which is a different type of microscope. Understand that there's two different type of programs going on. Just like in school, there's two different type of educations. When you were a kid, you probably heard this: go to school, get good grades, go to college, go work for someone. See, that's a program that's teaching you how to be a worker bee. There's another college that says go to school, get good grades, and learn how to run the plantation. What school are you going to? Are you learning how to be the entrepreneur and how to run the company? Or are you learning how to be employee of the month? There's a difference. You got to understand the difference of what you're being programmed. He talked about programming, television, right? Then what about grammar? If you look at grammar, you break down the root word is grammar. I'm sorry, grammar school. You send your kids to grammar school. You break down grammar, it turns into grammar. If you look up the root word grammar, that means to have a spell casted on you. So your children are having you don't believe me? Okay, fuck with me on this one. Excuse my language. Rock with me on this one. What is your alphabet? You know, 26 letters. And then those 26 letters, you got vowels. What are your vowels?
I-E-O-O-U.
A-E.
I-E.
No, A-E.
A-E.
I-O.
I-O-U.
Okay, and sometimes?
Y.
Okay, cool. So let's break that down, right? The vowels are A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. See, that's a program. You didn't even understand the program because you said it so fast. Well, King, what do you mean that's a program? Let me get a little closer. What if I said A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y?
Yeah, right.
You would say that's the vowels.
Right.
But what if I slowed it down and said A-I-O-U and you don't even know why? Because you were only asked to ask why sometimes.
Wow.
So I programmed you to only ask why sometimes. So when you're not asking why, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. You're just doing it because it's a program. So you did it on autopilot. You know why you did it?
Wow.
Because you weren't even willing to ask why, because I taught you to only ask why sometimes. You should always want to know why you're doing what you're doing, but you don't want to even ask the question because you're too lazy to ask the why, or you were tricked out of your why. Your why is important. Your why is the reason that keeps you going on the days that you don't want to go. Your why is why your dream comes true. Your why is the purpose. The why is why you don't give up. You need to understand your why. Don't only have why sometimes. You should have why all the time. Because when you don't want to do it, your why is going to say, get up and do it. Why not? Why are you not being great? Why are you not making your dreams come true? Why are you not being the best version of you? Your why is really important, so don't let nobody trick you out your why, because I'm going to say it one more time. A-I-O-U. And you don't even
Man, that's crazy.
know
Wow.
Why?
That's crazy.
Because you only ask why sometimes.
Woo.
Programming.
You just told me something.
My bad. I had to cook.
That
I had
right
to cook,
there.
right? You know what I'm saying? I had to cook one time. I had to cook one time.
You just told me something. I'm like, man.
Put a little bit of double sauce
Yeah,
on this.
man.
You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Little flambe on there.
Little double
You
sauce.
cooking over there, yes. Look, too much sauce.
Listen, know your why.
Yo,
I
that's
promise
crazy.
you. Because when you understand your why, God damn it, you're going to piss me off. When you understand your why, can't nobody trick you out of what you're doing.
That's right.
Well, why are you doing that? I didn't got to explain my why because I know my why. See, sometimes people want you to talk. Because when you explain your why, I know how to trick you. I know how to battle you. Sometimes you got to know how to shut up and just know you. Sometimes you got to be quiet and make moves in quiet. Ain't nothing wrong with making moves in silence and people can see the result. You know why? Because I had to get it done. And guess what? Everybody ain't supposed to believe you. Everybody ain't supposed to be on your team. Everybody ain't supposed to support you. I said it on the other show. Do you get mad at haters for being... Do you get mad at blind people for being blind?
Exactly.
Most people do. Why do you get mad at a blind person for being blind? Well, because they're blind. Well, duh. Well, my question is, if you get mad at a blind person for being blind, how many people can see your dream? How many people can see your vision? No one. They're blind to the vision because it wasn't their gift for them to see. It's your gift. It's your vision. It's what God gave you. It's for you to believe. It's for you to bring to reality. It wasn't for everyone else because I didn't give it to everyone else. But you don't know why because you didn't ask why I gave it to you. So when you understand your why, you're going to make it happen.
That's right.
You got to understand your purpose. You got to understand your vision. You got to understand the gift that I gave you. It's crucial. Why are you here? Why did you wake up today? Why did you get another chance? Why wasn't you in a car accident? Why are you not sick? Why didn't COVID take you out? Why did you lose your life to the LA? There are so many whys. But here's the real question. What will you do now? See, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to apply. It's one thing to exist, it's another thing to live. How will you show up for you and why will you do it? Or will you just go back to the same old program and be the same old person and act like you didn't get no information? Don't get mad for being about it if that's what you choose. Because what you choose not to do, you're choosing to do. What you're not choosing to do is what you're choosing to do. So when you choose not to go to the gym and work out, you chose the result that you have. When you choose to go party instead of be responsible, you chose the result that you have. When you don't know the power of your why and the power of your choices, you will always be where you are. You are where you are right now, today, perfectly designed by life's algorithm of your choices. And if you don't like where you are today, then why did you choose what you chose? And if you don't like what you chose, then why are you not choosing differently?
Real talk.
Straight like that.
Straight like that.
Because when you know your why and you know your purpose, you can be Peter walking on water and you can stay focused on the prize. But when the distraction comes, why are you looking left? Why are you looking right? Why are you looking everywhere else but your prize? See, the distractions are supposed to be the distractions. They're supposed to distract you. But if you know why you're going after what you're going after, then you shouldn't let nobody trick you out your why. Don't let nobody trick you out your spot. You're supposed to keep your eye on the prize. And imagine it being a straight line. Point A, point B. Right? This is a straight line. If I walk straight, I'm going to get to it very fast. But you know what we do? And then we wonder why we can't get to where we want to be. Well, maybe you didn't get it because if I gave it to you early, the same thing that you asked for could be the same thing that killed you because you didn't have the preparation to handle the weight that comes with it. How heavy are your dreams?
That's right.
And are you strong enough to be able to lift your dreams? See, you got to be willing to get in the gym of your life to be able to lift up the weight of your dreams because guess what? Your dreams come with a why. Your dreams come with bigger levels, different devils. How heavy is your crown? Will you straighten it up? Will you act right? Will you fix yourself? Will you walk right? Will you talk right? Well, guess what? You got to have preparation in order to do all that. Are you prepared for what you're asking for, or are you just asking? See, in the military, they call it piss poor planning leads to piss poor production. If you don't like where you are, maybe your planning sucks. Maybe you won't have a calendar. Maybe you don't have a schedule. Maybe you have no discipline. Maybe you have no consistency. Maybe you just procrastinate. Maybe you just lie to yourself. Maybe you just talk to yourself crazy. What are we doing? When you look in the mirror, who are you talking to? Because you can lie to Furious. You can lie to me. You can lie to everybody else. But the person, when you look in the mirror, you can't lie to the person in the mirror because the person going to look back and say, you lying. I know you didn't do it. I know you snuck a snack. I know you went out. I know you partied. I know you did drugs. I know you drunk. I know you smoked. All these other different reasons. You can't lie to the person in the mirror. Right. So the biggest honesty that you can ever have is the conversation with yourself. And when you understand your why, you'll wake up different. You'll live different. You'll talk different. You'll act different. Life will be different. The game will change. You'll level up. Have you ever played a video game and level 1 was this, but then when you got to level 2, it looked totally different? Why? Because guess what? Different levels, different devils, different challenges, and you got to be able to be prepared to handle what you ask for. Guess what? If you got the job that you asked for, then guess what? It's going to come with different problems, a different supervisor, a different boss, a different challenge, a different customer. Are you prepared for what you asked for what's on the other side of the blessing? Exactly. See, when it rains, you got to be prepared for the mud. You heard what Denzel said. That's a real thing. So when you get the blessing, are you prepared for what's on the other side of the blessing? Yeah. But if you don't know your why, guess what? That same thing that you asked for could be the same thing that kill you. Ooh. Come on. My bad, bro. My bad, Fears. My bad, Fears. Sometimes you gotta pop out and share. You hear me? You hear me?
Hey, facts.
You hear me?
Shout out to kids.
You hear me? Yeah. This ain't just security, you hear me? Don't let the security job fool you.
Yeah, what?
That's just networking.
That's it.
That's just access. And guess what? Let me tell you something. The security job, I was embarrassed to do it because I ain't what I came here for. But you know what? If you act like security, they'll treat you like security. But if you act like who you're called to, it don't matter the uniform that you wear. It matters who you are. It matters how you show up. It matters the light. It matters how you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you speak, the energy, your light. See, your light is translucent. The uniform is just a piece of clothes.
That's it.
It's just a position. It ain't me. I'm so much more than that. There's so many more onions to my layers because when Duck become a great writer, he will suffer more. Well, guess what? I am so good at what I'm talking because I went through hell and back. But guess what? The hell was beautiful. You know why I can say the hell was beautiful? Because it was an opportunity to learn me, not to learn nobody else. See, a lot of times when we go through our hell, we want to blame everybody else. My mom, my sister, my brother, my friend, da-da-da-da-da. What about your own accountability to you? Absolutely. It's different when you hold yourself accountable. Oh, yeah. It's different. You wake up different. You talk different. Yeah. And guess what? I'm still going to fall. But Marvin said, we fall down, but I know how the hell to get back up.
Yeah.
Will you get up?
That's right.
If you get to take another breath, it's an opportunity to get up. I know you're up against the ropes. I know sometimes you want to quit. I know sometimes you thought about suicide. I know sometimes you don't see nobody believing in you. But I don't care if nobody believes in you. Do you believe in yourself?
That's it, man.
Because you didn't get here by yourself, so somebody had to create you, wherever you want to call it. Do you believe in your creator, your source, the power, Mother Earth, energy, whatever you name it?
Right.
Because when you do, I promise you, when you fall back in love with you, life is so different, man. Stop allowing other people to trick you to break up with yourself.
Come on.
Stop allowing other people to trick you to break up with you. You are unique. You are special. You are amazing. Right. You are worthy. You are loved. You are powerful. You are everything that you say you are. But if you speak curses over your life, then stop getting mad at the curse because you spoke it. Yeah. But when you speak life over your life will be different.
Absolutely.
My bad, man. My bad. My apologies.
I apologize. You don't need to apologize to me. No, they need to hear that. That got to get out. That's right there. Yes, that right there. Oh, that was
sometimes you got to get in the Duffy a little bit. You know what I mean?
But everything you were saying is fire, man, because it's so true, man. That we get tricked out of, listening to the peer group, and that's why The Last Dragon is one of my favorite movies. I met Tamar, and I told him that, and the reason why The Last Dragon is one of my favorite movies is because he spent the movie looking for the master until he realized where the master was at.
Come on, man. Who's the master?
Come on.
Show enough.
And notice, show enough, it only mastered his hands.
Yeah.
But Bruce Leroy mastered his whole body.
Yeah.
Because he was only a master. That's why he only used his hands. So I thought that was interesting.
Come on now, talk about it.
Showing you how you have to have furious style. You have to basically master the whole thing instead of just being one-dimensional. And it's kind of like how like Goku and Vegeta, you know what I mean? Like Goku always go to higher levels than Vegeta because when you're righteous, it's limitless.
When you're what?
Righteous.
Huh? When your heart is what?
Pure.
Huh?
So
when you can let go of all the BS, you can go to
unlimited. But if you got that ego, you can only go. So that's why Vegeta could only go but so far, and Goku could go further because he was righteous. He had that pure heart. So he was able to go. It's too deep. I ain't gonna get into that.
No, get into it. Get into it. They need to hear it. Get into it.
Yeah.
Because that is amazing because a lot of y'all walking around here like Vegeta and mad and jealous of a Goku.
Yeah.
But guess what? You got Goku power in you, but you can't access it because you're too busy looking at everybody else.
Right.
Ain't it?
Remember, Vegeta was jealous the whole time. Oh, Kakarot, you got past me, man. You did. But Goku was never tripping. You know what I mean? Because all real men are righteous. Because a real man is a superhero. Because real men, come get rid of the evil. They come make sure it's safe for their kids to walk down the block, not unsafe.
Listen, we finna cook. Forget it. I know we're going over time, but I don't care because this is good. Listen, I met this young lady named Goddess Lahadi. Her name was Myrna Grant. I said it on the previous show, but I'm going to say it today because it's form-fitting right now. And when I was depressed, when I went through our stages of getting assaulted by the police, I lost my marriage, I lost my career, I lost everything, right? I was in a dark place. And it's funny how sometimes the right person can see you in your light, right? This lady walked up to me, she touched me on my stomach and my forehead. She didn't know me from Adam. In my mind, I'm like, what the hell is you doing? But I wanted to be respectful because she was old. She said, baby, you got to give birth to that. I said, what? I ain't never had nobody talk to me like that before.
Right.
What you mean I got to give birth to her? I ain't no chick. What you mean?
Right.
She said, do you know who you are? Yeah. She's like, I don't think you really know who you are yet. She says, you look like you play sports. I said, I do. She said, well, who's your favorite sports player? Kobe Bryant. She said, tell me a little bit about Kobe. Well, he got drafted by Charlotte Hornets, traded to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? 63 points, 81 points, 5 championship rings, blah, 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 right?
Kobe.
Yeah, right. She said, baby, you know a lot about Kobe. I said it proudly. Yes, ma'am, I do. I know everything about Kobe. You feel me? She says, that's great. What are your stats? I said, huh? She said,
Boy.
You had all that energy about Kobe. You had all that energy about Kobe.
Rubio, good.
What are your stats?
Yeah.
She said, ain't it crazy that you can tell me everything about Kobe Bryant, but you can't tell me nothing about you? Ain't it crazy that y'all can sing everybody else's songs?
Man.
You know how many followers they got, what type of car they drive, what club they going to, how they party. You know everything about everybody else's life, but you don't know you the way you know them.
Yeah.
When did their life become more important than your life?
That's called idolatry.
I said, wow. And from then on, it was a life, that's a life-changing moment right there. If you so choose for it to be. For me, I had to change my life. For me, I had to learn me. I had to Bruce Leroy it. I had to master me. I couldn't be the Johnny Bravo and work everything else out, but don't on leg day, I got chicken legs. You feel me? See, listen. We are so powerful. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to sound crazy. We know everything. What? You know every single language. What? How can you say something like that? Because if you practice it, you can speak it. The point of it is what you spend time in, you know. The fact that you don't spend time in it is the only reason why you don't know it. Not because you don't know it, but you never spent no time with it. How much time you spend with your creator? How much time you spend with yourself? It's crazy that you spend time with everyone else and you know what everyone else is doing, but you really don't know you the way you're supposed to know you. Start mastering you. When you get upset, ask why did I get triggered? What in my past that made me triggered and make me feel this way? Start understanding what bothers you. Start understanding and heal from that. But you can't heal what you don't own. You can't heal when you ain't honest with you. Stop being a liar to yourself.
And can I add something to that?
Yeah.
When you said you can't heal until you get honest with you. See, healing is just like if you're trying to get a drug addict or alcoholic to stop doing drugs, the first step is that they have to be honest with themselves.
Yeah, you got to admit it.
They have to admit that they have an addiction. And that's what people don't understand. People are like, what's the solution? The solution is like, the first solution is you have to be real with yourself.
Man.
Like, you got to be honest. And then my grandmother used to say, the longer you run from the truth, the harder she going to slap you when she catch you. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. And that's
Bars, shout out to Mom for that.
Yeah, man. R.P. with my grandma Betty.
Rest in power and love. Rest in power and love. I know you watching from heaven. Hopefully you put on an amazing show, you know?
Yeah, my grandma, she would say that. She said, the longer you run from the truth, the harder she gonna slap you when she catch you. Yeah. And that's what, that's what people don't understand, But the reason why a lot of people don't want to hear the truth is because they don't want to be accountable.
Accountable,
yeah. And they lie to themselves. They're telling themselves, I'm a good person. You know, I'm good. I'm good. I don't do nothing wrong.
That's good.
So of course you're not gonna want to hear nothing negative about yourself
Yeah.
because you're lying to yourself. It's kind of like the vampire. Was it Dracula when he would look in the mirror and he'd say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful of them all?" And if the mirror didn't lie back to him, he would get mad. But if the mirror lied to him, he was happy.
Yeah.
So that's what the truth is.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
Say it again. 15-yard penalty. He dropped another gem. Say it again.
Yo, I said that, like, the truth is like the vampire looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? So if the mirror was not lying back to the vampire saying, "Oh, you're the most beautiful," and all of that, then the vampire would get upset and he would break the mirror because if it showed its actual self, how ugly it really was. So that's why, because that was the real person. So that's how people are. They don't want you to reveal who they really are, you know what I mean? And the truth reveals that because most people are living a lie.
You can only bury the truth for so long until it comes to the light.
Absolutely.
What's done in the dark comes to the light.
Absolutely.
That's an old scripture. That's something I truly believe in.
Come on.
But, you know, we cooked today, man. Listen.
Oh, man. This was
give them your social one more time because I know we went a little crazy.
Follow me at Instagram. I am Furious. That's IAMFURYUS. Follow me on all platforms, Furious Styles, FURYUS, STYLES, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Be on the lookout for Rage Against the Machine. Will be out this spring, and you'll get that on all platforms. Peace and blessings.
Yo, make sure you follow the show. It's Whispering to Your Soul on Instagram, and follow your boy. It's King Jaquel Martin. That's KingJaquellMartin. This is our show. This is how we cook. And if you like the vibe, pull up. You feel me? Everybody got a story. Everybody's story is important. You know what I'm saying? It's the vibe. You know what I mean? So we love y'all. That's our show. Get at your boy. Get it.